Hey, ladies and gents. I just wanted to stop on here. This is a 3 of 3, these little intros here. I'm not going to make this one, I really am not going to make this one long, right? Yeah, shout out to you guys. One, this is the pause just to thank the viewer. Again, we normally say, my 500 or 500 strong. We are 500 strong, we really are. Because again, we're out here learning new ways, trying to tie in things from the old to the new, right? So again, this one got a little lengthy today. So again, we ask that you pack a mental lunch. I do see on this podcast that even though we go long, that y'all respond in kind and listening. So thank you, right? Pass this along in your churches, in the highways and the byways, as the Bible says, right? Let people hear this, right? This podcast in general, man. Let's get the word out there because, again, it's time for people to pick up something new, to understand the totality of a thing, and then let them make decisions as such, right? I would be remiss without saying this because we are talking about Father's Day. Happy and a blessed, right? However y'all want to say it, right? Happy Father's Day out there to the stand-in dads, aka stepdads, and they have a place, right? Biological fathers, who of course have a place. To the single mamas who got to be dad out there, shout out to y'all one time, man, right? Together we make it better. Yes, that's very true, man. Together we make it better. So, shout out to y'all. Happy Father's Day. And enjoy this episode. And I will talk to you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me grab myself a little swig of water. Excuse me as we do this open. All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen out there? How are you doing? And welcome in. Excuse me. That morning, man, let me tell you. Welcome into another episode of A Different View. Today's topic is on Father's Day. We are going to focus in on Father's Day. We're going to have a little bit of generalized, as we talk about on this podcast, also specific speech. Ladies, strap in, because again, this one here is also for the single mamas. We don't do exclusion on this podcast like we have done the last couple days here. Again, we will do it because repetition is necessary for learning. Shout out to the dads, to the bonus dads, to the single mama dads out there grinding, trying to raise their babies the best they can to make them better in this world and to raise them as such to make this world better. We're talking about those who will be your future lawmakers. Those will be your future police officers, right? Firefighters, hospital healthcare workers, lawyers, right? Doctors, computer scientists, sports analysts, or analysts, right? Every art, science, literature, mathematics, again, hell, it doesn't matter what it is. Y'all are here now to raise that beautiful future. Yes and amen, y'all. Y'all welcome into the Sunday message, my almost 500 strong, who listen to this different view. See, I take pleasure in the fact that we're doing things for the right reason unto the Creator that has made us so special, y'all. This one's going to be generated little manism to this, so I apologize. This is the end of the relationship series as well. So we're going to finish off on parenting, a very apropos way of doing this, especially with it being Father's Day. Men, we have to take up the mantle again. And I'm not talking about this attack we do Oh, and y'all want to tune off as soon as I say this, that's all right. But we're not talking about any attacking people. No matter who they might be sexually, no matter who they might be culturally, no matter who they might be from a smart standpoint and IQ points and all, it's time to put that babyish mess away, y'all. Who is time? We've been sipping master syrup too long, got everybody making fun of somebody. We need to stop doing that mess, man. The time you waste making fun of somebody else is eating into your profit. Lord help somebody understand it today, man. I don't have time to be making fun of nobody. I got time like Ruth was doing back in the book of Ruth. Let's go find them places where we can find wheat and things to glean from, right? In them fields of life for ourselves. And when we ain't got time to be worried about what somebody else doing, unless they are truly hurting you. See, and this is where this part starts to get muddy, because people are, as I've said on this podcast, pseudo offended. You are not, nothing's really happening to you per se. But you got to continue in that which what Massa does, which is make mountains out of molehills. That's some old school talk right there. That's some big mama talk, as they say. People who make mountains out of molehills ain't worth it. And you can go even further and mountains out of anthills. Y'all see these ants, right? It's summertime, right? Bugs coming out to play with the humans, right? Amen. They out to play with y'all too, right? And you see these anthills, and normally kids, this is right about the time where kids start to get introduced to nature. We're going to go over some topics here that, again, we had seen some things from last year, man, when I did this podcast. Man, you talk about, but see, you got to do things timid, y'all. I was timid, man. A little bolder now. We're a little bit bolder now, man, right? Speak the truth. See again, you got to say it and make it plain. That's biblical. So we're gonna get into some verses here, as y'all know we normally do here on this podcast anyway. So we're gonna continue on. We stopped with Deuteronomy 6 last time, talking about talk to your kids. Talk to your kids, man. Hey, y'all gotta rap to your kids, man. Get in touch with the cool part of yourself. Some people from life, man, they have let it beat it out of them. You gotta touch your children, right? The Bible talks about how Jesus, not the pedophilia stuff that we keep seeing everywhere. That instance I was re-referencing, looking over this brother's podcast I listened to, that happened out in the Carolinas. A 30-year-old man with a 15-year-old girl. And the neighborhood stopped him, shut him down. Brother had the whole video playing from when it happened last year and all that kind of stuff. Guys, it's time to stop, man. It's protect your families, man. Protect your families. And see, we're talking about being less superficial. We're talking about in your community where that gun violence and stuff is going on. It's time for communities to come together, stop this mess. Again, gangs, and we say this to those who are on this podcast who may have been involved in this. We understand, right? Because again, the home threw you out. See? The home threw you out. There might have been stuff in your life. We're talking to the older men, the young men, the middle men, right? Middle-aged men. It don't matter what the age is. Age is a number in this regard, because we're talking about that which combines and binds people together. So we throw that away. When you sip down the syrup of Massa, when it comes to, I'm sorry, y'all, for how this comes off, but this is real, okay? Division is what's at work when you're talking about racism, and it's what's affected the family. I know y'all, I know we try to do, no, I can't do that. It's affected the family. Because the same division that you do on the job of who you want to pay and not pay is the same division you do in the house of who you want to love and not love. Yeah, I got to say it. Hey, let's go, y'all. Let's go. It's Father's Day. Come on now, man. You want to talk about, I'm the head of the house. It's time to start setting the leadership tone when it comes to love, compassion, leadership, and responsibility. So to the brothers, my so-called black brothers, right? Because we're talking about the problems in our community. This is where ladies and gentlemen on audience here, this is where the specific speech comes in, by the way. So to my black brothers and sisters, specifically, the brothers, we got to let go of the baby mama thing. It's not in how many women you can have sex with in a week. Yes, must be said. This mess that you learn from your daddies and uncles and even, dare I say, grandfathers is no good. It's not good. We understand that some views because of harms and pains done on both sides of the gender aisle. So we're going to say it that way again. We're not doing an election day one. So we're going to use as many of these words on purpose to stir up something in somebody today. Maybe it'll affect how they vote this November. Yet I digress. No matter the age, y'all, we got a connection point. And fathers, it's time to step it up. If you were the head, it's time to start serving. Y'all understand in your home, you are a resource. They look to you for compassion. Everybody got a role. Let's keep that clear. Okay, we keep doing this thing where it's like, I'm the man and everybody else just listen to what I listen to. Guys, y'all are on the team, man. If you don't pull that mentality there, you're gonna keep hitting the wall. You're gonna keep hitting the wall. I'm telling y'all, you're gonna keep hitting the wall. Forced servitude is not shown love and compassion and devotion to someone. That's not the case. You got to let go of that old trope that you learned from your parents and grandparents, y'all. That didn't work. It didn't work. You think it did. It did. Forced devotion does not equal shown love and loyalty. I know what you're going to be told, y'all. The stricter you get with your kids, the worse the outcome. You know, we're talking about balance now, gentlemen. And I know you may have had a heavy hand growing up. Understand something real close. And if the older men on here, see, I got a note here. This is about elder respect now. Elder respect, okay? You got to treat older people almost as like a time machine. They have lived this life, y'all. They have wisdom that will help you. We talk about it, and we're gonna keep uplifting it. Big Mama, right? Big Mama wisdom. Talking about grandmama, right? And this is to my southern folk out there, right? This is to those right in the hood. We understand when we talking about Big Mama, we're talking about grandmama. We We're talking about our ancestors, man. If some of them are still living, we're talking about our elders. We got to respect them more. We got to bring that back, young to old. But there is something here, especially in the Willie Lynch letter, that is brought out is the fight, and not only there, but also in the Bible, as far as the fight between the old and young. Older people, and this is somebody who is older than someone 20. So we got a little bit of leeway here to speak on this. I understand discrediting is masses game. Stop doing that and start giving credit, right? Break down them walls. Break them down. They will help you if you break them down. Gotta say it, man. It's no more time. We got no more time in a wasted life. You're 60, 70 years. Life is wasted. Messing around with what massa telling you. No, follow the master. Follow the one that made us, this great creator and designer, God alone, that flung this mess together, took it from the void, man, and put order to the chaos, man. Think this thing through a little bit more, gentlemen. And to the single mamas too. Think this thing through. You know, you around in these neighborhoods and stuff like that. You keep these babies from these people acting foolish out here. They're acting foolish. They got nothing to live for. They ain't thinking because their minds are dead. You know, another way that it's said is that they're mentally dead on the inside. That's real. That's not making a joke at nobody's mental capacities to learn and stuff like that. On the inside, you're not, you let go of life. Death, we talked about that. The thief cometh not but to do what? Kill. Kill deals with the cessation of life, right? The ending of something. We just read the definition to y'all, right? Now's the time to get bolder, y'all. You know, you got folks like Donald Trump sitting there trying to big up black people. Lord, this is the same thing with Joe Biden last year. To my black brothers and sisters, stop being the pawn for a government that didn't care about you and don't care about you now from the jump. I don't care about the little breadcrumbs they give you. That mess is so you can continue to keep hurting yourself. It's time to raise up, and we'll get into this during Juneteenth. So let me get on. Let me get on back. Man, let me get on back. Let me get on back to fathers, man. Right? But it's time to protect ourselves. And coming to the family, y'all, it's time to protect yourselves. They mean nothing but to take from you, man. And this ain't listen, we ain't out here battling and gunfiring from a distance. Again, when you watch that movie Civil War, man. See, that's no. That's the breakdown everybody wants you to go to. We ain't gotta go there, y'all. We ain't gotta go there. Why you gotta go there? Why has it gotta be there to find resolution? It don't have to be. People are choosing to be, and you reap the reward thereof. And it's not a good one. It's not a good one. No, we need to, the elder things got to get better. And specifically old to young. Stop doing this millennial mess and generations. Each generation had its own thing, okay? You go back into the boomer generation, right? Let's just do a little breakdown while we're on our feet here. Let's just do a little breakdown so y'all can understand, right? We're talking about the old to the young. Let's talk about the generations now. Ah, man. So nuts. All right. So all you got to do is ask your phone computer, break down to the generations. That's it. Okay, cool. Comes up from PurdueGlobal.edu. So this ain't coming from me, and we understand, right? And this is the other thing. Folks never like it when you bring up some resource from, and this, I'm just telling y'all what it is. For some of y'all here who don't believe it, so be it. Just letting you know what it is. Some of y'all know. Yeah. As soon as somebody who is black says something, right, we automatically discredit, because again, in your mind, you have been brainwashed to be like, oh, yeah, nope, discredit them. They couldn't possibly be telling you the truth. Soon as somebody so-called white says it, though, and we understand, that's the truth, right? Now, again, over time, as we start to see through many of the mistruths and lies, we realize that that's not true. However, the overall kind of accepted thing is that if someone who is so-called white says a thing, then it's true. All right. Now, again, when you're talking about the college Purdue, right? This ain't a HBCU. Hey, right? So baby boomers was born 46 to 64. What was going on in the 40s, y'all? And prior to that, what was going on in the 40s? Do y'all know? I know. Oh, yeah, that was the Civil War. Okay, not Civil War, excuse me. Well, I guess kind of a world Civil War. The World War, World War II specifically, right? And again, we have spoken on what these wars deal with. They're all shams, different types, where innocent people's lives are put on the line to protect those who are greedy. Let's see this idea where they got you believing. You got to twist certain things to get you. They get, a piece of candy. We just put this thing up on my Facebook page. I think it's very apropos for Father's Day, where Lois is getting ready for bed, right? We understand that in the family dynamic as we talking about families, right? Wrapping up this thing. You getting ready for your wife. I understand if the kid, you don't want the kids on this one right here, well, it's fine. So husbands and wives, again, depending on the age here, you might as well start letting them know what's going on, man. I know y'all need your privacy and all that kind of thing. That's necessary, right? We're not trying to put on a show in front of our children. We understand. However, okay, there's certain things they need to know. They need to be it needs to be the foundation in them, like without a doubt, like, yeah, this is what it is. We need the healthy dynamic needs to come back. And if it's therapy that's necessary to get you there, I don't care what it is to get you there. Get yourselves there, because your kids are on the line. You are on the line. You got to give an account of what you're doing. We just talked about this idea of not provoking the kids to wrath. There's certain things you do that push your children to be so angry that they then start hating themselves. Now, the word that they use today is self-loathing. But again, this idea here is a biblical thing. You provoke your kids to this mess. We're not supposed to be doing that. It's supposed to be the opposite way. Okay, so baby boomers 46 to 64. We all know about them 60s. We all know about them 50s and them 60s, right? Jim Crow was in them 50s, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, we couldn't eat what y'all couldn't do. Sorry, never mind. My apologies. This isn't Juneteenth. But guys, you see how the bleed over happens? We keep doing this. No, it's part of the game. And if you don't start addressing it, we're not going anywhere. You're just going to keep going around in the mountain like the Israelites in the desert. You're making a 40-year trip when it's like 4 days. Anyway. Generation X, like DX, right? Shout out the WWE, and again, all these numbers are played with, just, like the calendar is played with, like time is played with when we do this stupid daylight savings, non-savings, half savings, whatever we're doing with the savings, right? Ain't no savings in your pocketbook every time they change the clock, that's for sure, man. As soon as that changes from 1 hour up or down, you don't lose or gain money, do you? No, you ain't no savings. Anyway. More hours so you can be out in the sunlight. The sun's out longer, y'all. You already got it. You know what do you see again? Tricknology, which deals in lies, tricks, and deceits of all types. Right? That's what this term is meaning. Is at work and in full effect when it comes to this daylight savings mess. It doesn't matter whether it was made by a doctor. We mentioned George Benson. I never completed the thought. The guy wanted to study butterflies longer. Okay, that's all well and good. Again, the good God above has made the sun. So we're talking about have no other gods before God. So you want to mess with time, that's all well and good, but don't override what's already out there. And what's out there is that God has already made the thing so that it's lighter in the summertime on certain parts of the world. What? Why do you need to? Never mind. DX, man, DX, right? This is a rejection of all of this generational mess. Again, you got 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years. That's a generation, y'all, right? This is how they divide it. Generation to generation. I bring out all this to say this. Generation to generation got its own stuff. Women had to dress a certain way back in the boomer day. Again, they broke out from that mold. And it's funny. Ain't it funny how they break out from that mold every different generation and it changes? Guys, again, folks was walking around each other nude. There was no clothes on. Y'all got to get used to how to be able to be around people with no clothes on, man. If I can be so bold, man. No rape. No gawking, none of that. No different than you admiring somebody who would look good anyway, male or female, right? And that would be whether male or female was looking at them. We gotta drop some of this stuff. Yeah, if we're gonna raise our kids right, man, with certain perspectives in life and certain respects to all the different people groups, that's how it goes. Again, you and your household could not believe that homosexuality is a thing, and you're still supposed to be talking about how people are supposed to be respectful to folks different than them. Because we let the door in on that. Now, again, it wasn't really, well, it was that also. But with this cultures thing, you let the disrespect in with that. Now it's disrespect all over the place. And then it enters into the home further. Now you got disrespect between the man and the woman. But yet y'all supposed to be married and I do to death do you part. So what is that supposed to look like? A cyclical, unending, revolving door of disrespect. What? Again, y'all are on a team. Y'all drop that head and body stuff that you be hearing, man. Again, it's out of balance. It's out of balance. Christ has told you that if you want to be the head of anything, you better serve. And gentlemen, when it comes to it, we got to start serving more. How do you serve more, KJ? Again, when we're talking to the brothers here, stop at the baby mama culture. And this goes to most cultures, man. Now, you see it less in other ones, right? Certain numbers that you study when you start studying demographics and society, you start seeing that there are certain cultures they don't do that mess, right? They don't do that mess. Then there's certain cultures that do. Even if you trace back all the way into because this has to deal with the history of where people get certain things in their mind. How did it enter the mind to be baby makers all over the place? Okay, you got to understand, especially when you go back into certain times, that was how a labor force was made on these lands. Women were used as birth mules, which is a form of sexual abuse, but I digress. Again, be fruitful and multiply, y'all, can be taken out of balance just the same. So let us continue here. Where we at? 21 minutes. All right. Colossians 3. Colossians chapter 3. Actually, before we get there, let's do Hebrews 5 real quick. I just want to read these 3 verses. Going back into this discipleship thing, because again, this deals with kids, parents, teachers, right? Again, KRS One said it this way: as the young learn from the old, it helps them to move faster in their driving lanes of life, if you will. As the old learn from the young, it helps them to move faster and be better drivers in their lanes of life. We have got to start learning to learn from each other. instead of this, y'all are wrong because you're millennials. Or Gen Z, Y, whatever letter. I don't care the letters they put on people. Whatever your age group is, if I'm older than you, I got to be able to listen to you just the same as you listen to me. Just the same with each culture of the planet, which is why this idea about all lives matter doesn't work if you do not pay attention to the Black lives. And yes, again, we talk in general and specific speech. I'm telling y'all, part of that mental conditioning is whenever something specifically is taught, you got to generalize it. No. Or the other way around. When it's general, you gotta make it specific. This is part of Mass's doctrine, y'all. Again, we're talking about how Jesus gave the playbook, about how it is. This is what it is. Again, the way Run DMC says it, okay, is that it's like that, and that's the way it is, right? I hope y'all make that a theme song for your Father's Day hip hop playlist today. Go to Spotify and iTunes and play. Believe the name of the song from Run DMC is That's the Way It Is, man. Just go with it, right? All right. For when the time you ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. We got to go back to the beginning. What we think is the beginning is not the beginning. Just like we pointed out in Exodus, talking about have no other gods before me, and I was just restudying the word before today. That you got to understand, there's a couple thoughts on that idea. One, not having any other gods in the sight of God, right? But in this case, what I believe is more impactful that we're missing, because again, we're talking about choice. God has given us choice, so things have to line up here. I know everybody keeps doing this less choice. No. When you speak on certain of these topics, there's more choices than what you think it is. Don't have any other gods before God. Realize you want to talk about the moon, the sun, the ocean, right? The land, whatever it is. There's one that made that. So again, it's all cool talking about Horus to my Egyptian brothers and sisters, right? It's all cool. These different places of the world what we do. Okay, but there is one. Just saying. Yep, again, different view, right? And this is not to neglect y'all's view. We're just giving kind of a totality of thought. That's all. And are become such as need of milk. Now it says it's have need. You need the low stuff. You need the beginner, not of strong meat. Tough meat, like when you cook a steak too tough and you got to chew through that thing. There's certain people who need to drink real simple stuff that gives them nourishment and not the stuff that is the strong meat, because you're at a level where you're not ready yet. You need it, but you're not there yet. It's time to start getting there, y'all. We have been on the baby bottle, talking about fathers here. We've been on the baby bottle too long. We need more. We have been made by a creator that gives more, and gives more so that we can give more, thereby receiving more. It is cyclical. It's a circle. Anyway, that was chapter 5:12. Now going on to 13. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness. For it says he, of course, and we're talking about men today. So we'll go with it for a little bit here, right? For he is a babe. Fellas, it's time to grow up. All of us. We got all that. There is none, no, not one. It's time for us all to grow up, man. Old and young. It don't matter. You keep hearing this mess about what lazy kids do. Again, you talking about the lazy kids. The lazy parents is where they learned it from. Oh, no. I work hard, this, that, and other. No, they picked up something on you that was screaming lazy. And they doing it. That's all, man. That's what it is. Hey. Okay, again, a lot of defenses in the mind come up. You got to let them go. But strong meat this is now verse 14. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age. Again, you got to grow up, man. It's happened with me. It happens with a lot of people. You start to understand that the syrup I've been sipping ain't helping me, man. It ain't helping me. I'm not getting any better. I'm not feeling any better. I'm still in the same condition. Time to grow up. Time to let go and grab a hold of that good porterhouse steak. that what's some of them things? Enfamil, I think it's how it's baby formula, right? It's time to let go of the Enfamil. Get you a good New York strip steak, man. Right. Whatever kind of steak y'all like, man. Yeah, I know the mouth is juicy right now, early in the morning, but that's all right. We're just getting you ready for dinner or lunch, right? Or steak and eggs for breakfast. Who knows, right? Full age, even those by who reason of use have their senses exercised to discern. Now we'll just take a stop, just a little pivot. Just a little pivot to talk on that word discern, man. Discern. The etymology of the word discern. I'm not even going to tell you the definition. The etymology is dealing with perceiving, recognizing the difference or distinction between. Ladies and gentlemen, where have we seen that word before? Yeah, I know where. Prejudice. Your prejudger got to get better, y'all. Yes. Lord help us. Your prejudger got to get better, man. Certain things that you put away, you need to pay attention to, and other things that you put away, you need to pay attention to. Let me say it again. The things that you have put away, like you let go, like you walked away from, you need to pay attention to, and the things that you put away, like your things you discredit, you need to start repaying attention to. It has been used, your prejudger, through very cunning things from the adversary of people, has made all people, right? Different things that we have heard from folks, talking to folks about other people, right? Used and twisted, okay? So that you are prejudging the wrong people. And in doing so, you're hurting yourself. Your prejudger needs to be, how do they say it? So we talked about defragmenting, right? Where sections of the hard drive are all over the place. And you got to bring the thing together so that that it operates easier. It's easier to access files. It's easier for the thing to do its thing. Y'all look up defragmenting if you think I'm lying to you. This is what we're talking about. Bringing parts together to make a whole. It's time to be whole in the family. You got some folks that's in their families, they're not whole. Father, mother, wife, son, daughter, you're there, and maybe multiples, right? But you're not whole. You're in the house, but it's not a home. This is where the gravity of this stuff comes down, y'all. Haughtiness, not pride. Haughtiness is in the way. You got folks thinking more highly of themselves than they ought to. Got to have family meetings, y'all. You know how in the business y'all be having the meetings and you do these conference calls and all this garbage all day long, right? Just sitting down on your duff getting fatter. I'm just saying what it is, man. I'm telling you, work reform is so needed. It's so needed. I know everybody keeps doing the happy dance around it and they happy for the little bit master giver. Please, sir, can you give me some more? Yeah, I know y'all okay. Y'all okay with that England life, man. It's time for more. We've been made for more, right? So for your perception and your recognition of differences, we got to get better with it. We got to perceive, rational. I know people talk against logic and rationing. Again, it's a thing given to you by God so that you can separate, set apart, divide, distribute. Distribution is way off. Maldistribution is a word used when you're talking about certain inadequacies in society. It's off. Anyway, okay, we got to get to that point. To discern both good and evil, to perceive good and evil. Yes, you can, right? Former President Barack Obama came out with that, right? Yes, we can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can see the difference. And again, this is not me clowning on a black man. We're talking about if it can be used for governmental purposes to put somebody in a seat of power, the seat of power in your home, it can be used for just the same, right? Again, this thing is by and for the people, not the other way around. This isn't to create anarchy. This is to do this in peace and legally, the same way they do it. You don't see them getting in a bunch of fights, right? You ain't fighting them when they come out with a new rule on your job, do you? Nope. It happens with you. It could happen with your grumbling too, right? We normally something stupid comes down out the pike and we suck it down. See again, the violence ain't happening the other way around when people stand up for themselves. That's them bringing the ruckus, man. That's not us. We band together. Y'all lawyers and financiers and stuff, stop being so spooky, man. Come on out. Come on out from among them, man. Be separate, yo. When towns and cities and stuff, and again, we're talking about men now. We're talking about men. We're talking about women. We're talking about standing up for your community. It doesn't matter who you are. You can have on the pride flag as big as can day, and I can have on the flag that's got the what's the police flag one? The black, blue with the stripes and all that, or the firefighter with the red and the black, and it doesn't matter, because the thing is about us living down here in peace, no matter who it is. Again, no matter who it is, when we keep doing this witch hunt thing, it don't end well, clearly. The world is not better off for us hunting them witches. The world is not better off like that whole thing that happened at Stonewall, I believe. Them Stonewall riots in New York, hunting down homosexuals. It's not better off for that. It's not better off for the war going on in the Middle East. This constant family war between Israel and Palestine. Half brothers. It's not better off. The world is not better off for the world wars, deaths and people and chemicals that have been unleashed and all that mess from all this gunfire. It's not better off. We've hurt and damaged the planet, y'all. Got to bring the love back. Hey, put on your best love song from like the 60s and 70s, man, because that's where it's at. This gangster music and that, nope. And it's a shame that studios and artists, I just got to talk about this for a second. It's a shame that this is where that went, that some of these artists didn't want to put that stuff out, and these owners of these record label companies wanted them to put it out there to continue to perpetuate death and destruction. To my artists, music, art, all of that. When you talk about a renaissance, man, it's necessary today. The love renaissance. Pick up where the hippies left off in the 60s and 70s, y'all. That's real. Oh, Lord, that is so real. No, my man Edwin Starr said it best when he was talking about war. War, and y'all can be singing the song along as while we talking. No, war ain't good for absolutely nothing. Woo, man, come on. And war in your household, you thinking you're trying to keep the son under your foot and the wife under your foot and the daughter under your... No. People have been made by God to be expressive as themselves while you are there living with them, y'all. And gentlemen, until we can get that on the inside of us, man, we missing it. We missing it, man. You can be used as an agent of destruction. That's so for real. All right, so we're here at 35 minutes. Let's try to wrap this up, and we're gonna go on, man. Yeah, this whole thing about the breadwinner. I got this little note about the breadwinner and stuff like that, man. No. Yeah, whoever got to make that money, make that money. Now, again, you want to be able to streamline the thing so that a person can live under their means. Okay, we got to get back to living under our means. Don't think because you hit $50,000, you're supposed to spend $50,000. You're supposed to spend that thing like it's 30. Come on, right? Before you kick your kids out in the street, make sure they got about 20 G's in their pocket. I know, right? See, again, from birth, they got this thing out here where people are mad with Khloe Kardashian because her daughter has a brand. This is what we're supposed to be doing, y'all. Don't you realize the Rockefellers and all these people, this is what they were doing. That's why they got their wealth. But no, see, when you're sipping the masses syrup, when you going after that plantation owners thinking, again, you are not thinking in that way. See, they got you on a low level. You got to come up a little bit. See, this is the problem with the house and the field Negro. Y'all were thinking on low level, thinking you was trying to come up to Massa, and Massa was already 5 steps ahead of you because they kept information from you. No, power and wealth is in the family. Matter of fact, a lot of these laws in this land is geared for family. Y'all, we all need to restudy, man. Anyway, Colossians 3. Colossians 3. Again, like we said, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking it up. We're taking it up a notch, man. Right. Shout out to Emerald Lagasse. We're kicking it up a notch, man. Yeah, to kick it up a notch. You want this thing to be right. So Colossians 3, man. Whoo, Colossians 3 is the third chapter of Colossians is a powerful chapter, right? Husbands love you. I'll go there for a little bit. I'll indulge y'all a little bit, right? Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands as it's fit in the Lord. Yeah, I know. Women, I know, man. Because we've been out of balance. Yes. I must say, we've been out of balance, man. All y'all can preach is verse 18, and is that all y'all can do? Pastors teach. Is this all we can do? Hold on. I know it's male dominated. I know the time and everything in here is male dominated. I know we got a male dominated society. Can you open up the logic a little bit here? Are you only male? See, no. The Bible tells you that you are not meant to be alone, man. You know why? Because you can't make it. We talking in a perfected state. That was the Garden of Eden. In a perfected state, God told you it's not good for you to be alone. Huh? And then pulled the most transgender-like thing. I know it's hard for y'all to grasp it. I understand. Taking man parts and making women. That was a man's rib. Let's not do this DID thing. That was a man's rib, man. Made a woman. Let's go. This is why you see so many similarities between the genders, y'all. But you know what? See, when you think on team level, you're not worried about doing that distinctional mess. Anyway, well, and to each their own. Again, right? This is why we use this. That's why we say this on this podcast. Believe what you want, man. Wives, submit yourselves. Husbands, love your wives, man. Hey. Do not be bitter against them. That means there's something going on where y'all are bitter, man. Gosh, for time, man. I'm trying not to hold y'all, man. As we got food to eat and a ball game to watch. We got stuff to do, yo. Bitter. The word bitter, an adjective having a sharp, pungent taste or smell, not sweet. Another one. Of people or their feelings or behavior angry. There's that word anger. See, now you're at sin at that level. So if anger is involved with bitter, then now you've sinned because you're not loving your wife. You've gotten bitter against it. Anyway, hey, men, hey, we hold our hands through this. We talked about this before. We band of brothers, y'all. Ain't nobody looking down on nobody. This is opportunity for redemption. Hey, come on back, man. Make the comeback. Gentlemen, since we love sports so much, right? We down. It's in the fourth quarter. Yes. Hey, whew, Lord help me say it. We down in the fourth quarter. Yeah, that's all right. We got that 10-point deficit, man. And life is like the Toon Squad from the original Space Jam. We ain't talking about that LeBron James one. Or if y'all like that LeBron James one, so be it, right? We down. Who's stepping up? Well, how are we stepping up? Because that's all that's left, y'all. Or else we losing the game. Now, again, it's coded in life that the game's not getting lost. But that's besides the point. Who's stepping up, y'all? So I'm here to tell y'all today. This is about this thing. We're talking about edification, and then we can. You've been given gifts and talents. It's time to stop burying them things and put them things to the right places where you can get interest back on what you're doing. That's in both the literal and non-literal sense, right? Anger, hurt, or resentful because of one's bad experiences. Jesus. And Lord, how men have... Now see, bad experiences, the experience also deals with information you're given. That's another experience. You sat down in front of your uncles and daddies and grandfathers and whoever else, man. Brothers, whatever it is. They taught you some of the wildest mess. That was a bad experience, man. These women are not sex mules. That, hey, come on. Come on, man. Love. How is a man talking about this masculine mess? They talk this masculine mess all the time. Again, another one of these things that's in the syrup of massa. Masculine. Huh. Anyway, right? Love. I guess that's as masculine as can be, can it? You were told, we talked about this verse before, as far as love and nurture and admonition of the Lord, training up your children, right? Nurture? Love? What? Masculine? Yes. See, again, we spoke this word to my homosexual community. See, just because it's specifically to the men, just because you love a man and you hug him and kiss him and do everything else to him, right? That don't mean you let people disrespect you. Somebody come up and you trying to hurt you, you're supposed to defend yourself, right? That's for anybody. Men in your family, same thing. You show love and you show nurture to your wife and kids. And somebody call you simp or whatever for it. one, walk away from them fools. You ain't got to start a fight on everything. Two, if somebody trying to do harm to you, that's when it's, again, when you're talking men here, right? Instruct, protect, avenge, revenge. These are things that we do. And when we mean revenge, we're not talking in a place of what you call, but somebody do wrong to you. This goes in line with protection. Somebody hurt your kids, again, get okay in your households preaching defense. This is another note that I have here, y'all. Somebody trying to hurt you, man, we talking legally, physically, however it is that you need to protect yourself. Get okay with it. And we're not just talking with the gun. Y'all start putting your kids in get these wholesome schools for training in the martial arts. I'm being for real. If you don't protect yourself, no one else will. Thinking on somebody else gonna come in with the home run, man, that ain't gonna work. All right, we gonna wrap. We 40 minutes, but it's needed to talk. I mean, if we're gonna go long, Father's Day is one of the days, man. All right, so fathers, provoke not children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. Okay. See, 18 and 20, y'all like to stay there, but 19 and 21, y'all, no, we staying right on these two verses today, y'all. If you don't hear it nowhere else in the pulpit today, you heard it here. I'm just saying, it's time to encourage ourselves to do right by people. Anyway, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. You can discourage your kids, man. You can make them so angry they get discouraged. That happens on the job too. You bosses, stop discouraging your people. That's a real thing. But again, when you sit down to serve a massa, we back on the plantation, y'all. And guess what massa did? Them Negroes was going to hop the tune and they had a problem. That's what the Uncle Tom Cabin book is all about. Somebody standing up in the gap. Where are the people that will stand up in the gap against this type of oppression? We were going to talk about the father as we wrap up here, because let's see here. We got that one. 1 Timothy. Let's just run down these real quick. 1 Timothy 5. Talking about rebuking elders, we've already talked about this. The ones who do not provide for their own house. Now, this also is for those who stand in the way of those who will not allow people to provide for their own house. So this is, see again, this is a little double entendre here, right? You cannot. If you do, specifically to affecting those of their own house, you've denied the faith and you're worse than an infidel. So while we talk about infidelity going on and whoever's sleeping with who and doing Jimmy Superfly snooker moves in the bedroom on somebody else's husband and wife and whatever y'all are doing, right? Having your grand old time, recording it and all that kind of thing, right? It's worse than that when you don't provide for your household. This is what the Bible is saying. Get yourself in environments where they care about you making money for you, man. Hey, man. Listen. This is what we're talking about with profit. See, if you're really about profit and stuff, you get yourself from around where they ain't giving you money, man. When you got to work harder and all that kind of thing, you can't come home and be of a clear mind to deal with. What I meant to say last time is this idea about the referee, right? In baseball, or the umpire, I should say. If you ain't in the game right there calling the play, how you going to call the play from like 2 stadiums over? That don't work that way. You got to be right there. Men need to get back in the home. Stop solely relying on mama, or mama as far as the mother of your kids. No, you be right there. Anyway. There's some things we have to think about when it comes to money in this society, y'all, because it hurt our parents and grandparents, and it's hurting us today. This idea where you don't pay for your parents' stuff, guys, but what they missed, you pay for today. Again, nobody got that racism thing down today. Guess what you're dealing with today? Nobody got the sexism thing down today. Guess what you got today? I'm sorry. What happened then, you pay for now. That's just how life is. And what you fixed back then is also fixed today. What you fixed back then could also be broken today. This is a constant making sure the thing is running properly, right? Dress and keep the planet. The Lord is long suffering and is a great mercy. Again, we're reading out of Numbers 14. It's in the Old Testament. Numbers 14:18. The Lord is long suffering and great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty. See y'all fronting in Kappas out there. Be careful. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations. Your kids will pay the price for what you do. That's not because God did it. That's because you did it. See, everybody is looking at the Lord is and missing the part in the verse where the people are doing the thing then of which they are visited upon. So if you don't do the thing, you ain't got to worry about nothing. And that's not coming from God. This is, again, don't think you're going to live in a reality where you can do everything you want to do. That's not, that's silly, right? Again, we're talking about growing up a little bit. So when we're talking about that generational curses and all that kind of stuff, again, if y'all and what the parents don't do, now the kids got to be stronger to deal with. So if you had a problem with manipulation and all that type of stuff, and you know whether man or woman, and you use your feminine wiles or masculine wiles, as they say, to get things a certain way, that stuff affects your kids. Now they got to be right. They got to not do that in order to correct what you did, because never mind. The prodigal son. And then where are we at? 48 minutes. So my apologies, y'all. We hit the 50 mark, but again, this is needed to be talking about prodigal son. I don't want to say this without looking at the verse, because I don't want to paraphrase in certain instances here. We gotta talk about a thing here. So, okay, let's just. All right. Again, we got another one of these two sons kinds of things. This is Luke 15. He said that it's like two sons. The younger of them said to the father, "Give me the portions of the good that falleth to me." And he divided them unto his living. Not many days after, the young son, my computer screen just did some while. The younger son gathered all together, took his journey into a far country, and wasted his substance with riotous living. Okay, we don't have to get involved in what we're talking about here. He had spent all, and when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land and began to want. He went and joined himself to a citizen of that country. And he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would have fain to feed his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave him. This is real. Children, they ain't gonna give you nothing. Parents, since we like to do this, we master servants mess, they ain't gonna give you nothing. It's to take from you. And when he came to himself, man, that part is so huge. Some people just got to come to themselves. Sometimes you got to love folks across the street till they come to themselves. Sometimes they don't. Right? He said, how many servants? The ones we after, though, are the ones that will come to themselves. Right? And really, we're out after for everybody. No different than God is. How many hired servants in my father's house have bread enough and to spare? And I'm over here perishing with hunger. I will arise and go to my father and saying to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before thee. This is what we need to do, y'all. When it comes to a lot of this stuff in life, this is what we got to do. We got to get to that point. We've sinned against each other as humans and before the great creator that made us. No more, I am no more worthy. And that doesn't matter which belief you believe in, because everybody has a God that's there, right? And even to the atheist, again, to this great land that we live on, to this great, in this planet, I should say, is land, this planet we live on. We all can repent on a certain level, right? No more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. This is in his mind. This is what he gonna go with, right? Hey, I mean, at least say you're sorry. A lot of people doing stuff they don't say they're sorry. And he arose and came to us. This is what we're dealing with in this nation now, because people won't say they're sorry. Yet with the Japanese, they could write a letter of apology to him. Anyway, that's that baby boomer generation, right? In the 40s, right? Never mind. He arose, came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, had compassion. I got to stop there, man. I got to stop there. The rest of it talks about redemption, right? When are y'all going to have that compassion, man? We keep, again, we talking about things that repeat, and we've been repeating this word compassion a lot, man. It's time. It's time, y'all. It's time. So that's what we got here. See, again, more prodigal son fathers and less this mess that's been going on. Because your kids, you need them. They need you. We need each other, y'all. Right? So that's Father's Day 2024 edition on here on A Different View. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in, right? Thank you for stopping in and listening. Even though we went long today, thank you very much. And as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.